Okay, guys, we are live. We are live doing the podcast, and in today's podcast, we are talking about Jon Jones versus Alex Gustafsson, number 2. And I will say this: if you take both of these fighters, what do they have to offer, and what do they not have to offer? I'll say this. You have Alex Gustafsson, which is 16-2 with 63% by knockout, 20% by sub, and 19% by decision. So you know this guy is a finisher if he's having almost more than 60% of his wins by knocking people ass out. Let me get my web camera down. Hold on, guys. And then on the other hand, you have Mr. Jon Jones, which has a MMA record of 20-1. Basically, his one loss was a disqualification because he ended up doing this weird elbow to Matt Hamill, and a lot of people said this dude still won the fight. And then you got Jon Jones, which wins 30% by decision, 30% by submission, and 40% by knockout. And Jon Jones basically has never lost an MMA fight in his life. And then you got Alex Gustafsson, who lost twice. And Alex Gustafsson, to me, is one of those guys who is possibly one of the guys that can beat Jon Jones. And the way to beat Jon Jones is to be very, very aggressive, okay? That's the way to beat these guys. You have to be extremely, extremely aggressive. You cannot basically pussyfoot around and dance around and bob around. And you can't do what happened to Nick Diaz versus Carlos Condit. You cannot be one of those guys who are going around like throwing a jab, running around. You have to be aggressive, because that's the way to beat this dude. You have to be very, very aggressive. That's the way to beat these guys. You have to be really aggressive, come in there and take it to the ground and ground and pound. That's the only way I see this guy's winning. Look at it this way: when Lyoto Machida was dominant in their first fight, in the first round, he was more of a aggressive fighter. Then you look at what Vitor was able to do when he got him in the armbar. What was happening? He was very aggressive. When Jon Jones is the aggressor, fighters like this that are elite athletes, elite fighters, if they're the ones that are the aggressor, they're the ones that dictate where the fight goes. But if you're a guy who's going to come in there and rush him and pressure him and have him running on his back, then you're going to have a guy that is probably more than often might get beat. So the way I see it, if Alex Gustafsson wants to win this fight, he's going to have to be able to take it to the ground and ground and pound Jon Jones. We never seen Jon Jones on his back. We never seen Jon Jones in a compromising position where he's like, "Oh my God, I've lost the first 3 rounds. What do I got to do to come back?" But Jon Jones is one of those guys who throws weird kicks, knees, and elbows. He throws spinning back elbows. You don't see that a lot of times, spinning back elbows and flying knees. And that little side kick he does to the knee or the thigh, you don't see that normally with a lot of fighters. But I will say this: if Jon Jones wins, I know Daniel Cormier is going to be the guy to beat him. I think Daniel Cormier's toughest fight today will be against Jon Jones, because look what Daniel Cormier has been able to accomplish in his mixed martial arts career. Beaten the likes of Dan Henderson, made Dan Henderson look washed up, beat Patrick Cummings, which you could say that was a not even a competition. He beat Roy Nelson like Roy Nelson was a nobody. Frank Mir, which we all know Frank Mir's kind of past his prime. And he beat Josh Barnett, and I think he beat Bigfoot Silva at one point. So the dude is a beast. He's beaten a lot of top dudes. I'm not saying I'm a fan of Daniel Cormier whatsoever. I'm not really a big hardcore Daniel Cormier fan. I don't really respect his, what should I say? I don't really respect his style. I think it's kind of boring where you wrestle somebody to the ground or you hold them up against the cage like he did against Frank Mir. And Frank Mir didn't even really do much. So I see it being that way. I see Daniel Cormier being the guy to beat Jon Jones. He's going to be the guy that's going to be able to get inside and take him down and ground and pound him. At least wrestle him to the ground, because even Chael Sonnen couldn't wrestle him to the ground. And I want to say something about Chael Sonnen right now. Chael Sonnen was released by the UFC because he failed another drug test. I thought the dude retired. I thought the dude wasn't even fighting anymore. And apparently he got kicked off the UFC Tonight TV show because of this. Dude, let Chael Sonnen work for Fox. Let him do the UFC Tonight show, or whatever it's called, UFC Tonight, I think. That dude's a beast at that kind of stuff. Do I think, Let me say this. Do I think he is going to fight in another organization? I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to go to Bellator and still continuously fighting. I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to have Chael Sonnen going to either Bellator or go to like World Series of Fighting. I don't think he's done with mixed martial arts. I think in maybe an organization like that, he's able to beat the champion and get a title shot. I think that's what's going to happen. But like this dude said, this is a requested video. This guy was talking about what was my take on the first Jon Jones versus Alex Gustafsson. Really, that fight's been so long time ago. I really don't remember exactly what happened. I remember it went 5 rounds. And I remember like in the 4th or 5th round, Jon Jones landed a couple elbows and had Alex stunned. I heard Jon Jones took this fight lightly. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But I really think Jon Jones versus Alex Gustafsson 2, I'm really not really excited for it, to be honest. It's like Renan Baral's getting the first rematch, or getting a rematch at TJ Dillashaw at 135. To me, you clearly seen TJ whoop his ass. He beat Renan Baral, but the UFC is always at that one point in their career, like, nah, he deserves a title shot because he went on like a 29-fight win streak. Yeah, but we don't always want to see stupid rematches. At least I don't. I could care less. What's going to happen if Renan Barao loses again twice? Then Renan Barao is going to be one of those guys way back in the totem pole in the UFC's 135-pound division, and everybody's going to be like, well, told you he sucked. And then he's going to have a 2-fight loss on his career. And if he goes 3 losing streak, he's kicked out of the UFC. So with that being said, guys, do you guys love seeing automatic rematches? I don't. And one last thing I got to say. Do you guys really think that BJ Penn will be able to beat Frankie Edgar? Frankie Edgar saying he wants to basically humiliate BJ, where he will run away from the octagon and never ever want to compete in a mixed martial arts cage again. And like BJ said, he doesn't know what he's searching for now. He doesn't know if he wants to be a champion, if he still wants to compete, but he was hungry for this fight. I don't know if coming down to 145 is a BJ Penn good thing. I don't know, because BJ Penn always looked good at 155 pounds. He looked decent at 170, but with that being said, I think BJ is going to win that fight. So I'm picking it like this. I think BJ is going to win that fight and shock the world that he is back. And I clearly think Jon Jones is going to win. But the fight I'm looking forward to out of a lot of these title fights, or just fights in general, I'm going to click right now. And I'm going to say, I want to see Fabricio Verdum in Mexico City versus Cain Velasquez. I think Cain is one of those dudes who has the up and down. What I mean by that is he has great stand-up and he shoots in. We've seen what he did to Junior Dos Santos. He made Junior Dos Santos look like horrible garbage. he was up and down, up and down. He would stand when Junior went to go. Junior's like, I'm swinging for the fences, and he would just be like, wait, I'm getting taken down. And Mauricio Verdum coming back to the UFC is like 3-0, and he's beaten Travis Brown, Roy Nelson, and his Muay Thai has improved drastically. But I don't think he's going to be able to hang with Cain Velasquez, who can do wrestling and stand up at UFC 180. And this dude's going to be gassing out Mauricio Verdum, because no one has a gas tank at heavyweight like Cain. And Cain is the next Fedor Emelianenko, because like I said, the one fight I would want to see is on UFC Fight Pass, which is Roy Nelson versus Mark Hunt. Come on now. Tell me that is not a beast of a fight. That's the beast of a fight card. But it's only on Fight Pass, and I don't watch Fight Pass cards. I don't pay for it. Just like I still want to see Michael Bisping versus Kung Lee. That's only a Fight Pass card. But with that being said, I will definitely talk to you guys next time. And I'll say this, I'm doing this over on Ustream.com. So maybe I might send out a tweet for you guys if you guys want to hear my predictions live. And if you guys are interested in watching me do these predictions live, I'd appreciate it, because then on Ustream, you guys can actually talk to me in the comment section, and we can make this more of a live show where you guys talk to me more, and you guys give me feedback, and I talk to you guys, and we can upload it to YouTube, and you guys can comment it as there as well. I would do it over on Google Plus, but remember, guys, some jerk ass flagged my video over there, so I can't do it on Google Plus for like 6 months, which is a downfall, because I love using that service. But with that being said, remember to rate, even if you hate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for always stopping in and watching. And yes, like I said, I know this is a longer video, but it is, like I said, a podcast, and I would love you guys to actually come over to Ustream. Or if you guys want to really watch me on Ustream, you guys can ask me questions. Or here's what I would want you guys to do. Ask me questions in this video. Ask me questions. And when I do my next video, I will address you guys. Say, YouTuber, and give you your username, like a shout out. And then say your question. Because that would make it more of a user podcast where you guys will be more integrated. So you go, oh, Trevor actually used my question. So if you guys want to ask me any questions, what kind, let's say if you want to ask me like, would Mike Tyson be able to beat Jon Jones in a straight boxing match, or some weird questions like that, it don't matter what the question is, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do it. It doesn't have to be MMA related. It could be a fantasy fight. What I would think if Jon Jones would have fought Rich Franklin, or if Rich Franklin would have fought I will see you guys soon. This is making a 13-minute video really long. Later, guys. Bye-bye.